What's up, fam? I'm excited to bring you this episode with my buddy Tom Reber of the Contractor Fight. Now, some of you might know of Tom. He's been in business for quite some time. He's got a prolific YouTube channel with over 65,000 subscribers, a podcast with almost 800 episodes. He's got a lot of different training programs, a couple of events that he hosts each year. He's very active on Instagram, putting out a ton of content. So in this conversation with Tom, we go through a variety of different topics. We go through a couple of things on how contractors can position themselves in a much stronger way to win more business, to make more profit, and to continue to reinvest back into your business so you can grow. There's a few key things that Tom mentions in this episode that I think will really help everyone out there. I know that I took away some notes even as a non-contractor. And then of course we get into mindset, right? Because there are really no business problems or challenges. There are personal problems that manifest themselves in our businesses. And so the stronger our mindset is, the more capable a leader we are going to be and the more productive and successful company we're going to be able to build. So we really dive into the mindset behind a lot of this stuff. And that's really what it comes down to. And of course, we bring it full circle. Tom is a family man. He's been a coach. He's got kids. He's got a wife that he travels with a lot to a lot of his events. So we bring it home with a lot of like how you weave in your business and your family and your personal development, because we want to be able to level up in every area of our lives. So without further ado, tune in, take some notes with this conversation with my buddy, Tom Reber. All right, Tom, awesome to have you here. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot going on. So thanks so much for making the time for us and our audience today. I want to start off by just giving us a quick rundown. For those of you who, for those people that have been living under a rock and might not know you, who are you? Quick background, company, personal, like whatever you want to share to kind of frame up this conversation today.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm excited to be here. As I shared with you in the past, it's been fun watching you do your thing over the past several years and helping a bunch of people and all that stuff. But yeah, I have the honor of being the founder of the Contractor Fight. You know, we help home improvement contractors get better, you know, in every area of their life. We didn't plan it that way, but we started it as a business coaching company, and it's ended up kind of becoming its own monster. But we're really here to help home improvement contractors stop stealing from their families, bring respect and dignity back to the trades, and really build something that they're proud of and something that they have control over their life, help them take control back over their business, their life. And, you know, we've been doing it for quite a while. I guess I formally started in about 2014-ish doing this, and 13, 14, we rebranded in 2017 to the Contractor Fight. You know, we've got, our podcast, YouTube channel, coaching groups, bunch of things like that. We do workshops, speaking, and all designed to help people get better, man. And we're having a blast doing it.
Man, so you're almost a decade into this. That's like 100 years in like internet years, right?
Yeah. I wish, we'd be further along if I knew what I was doing in the first few years, right? So it was just, just like any other business, you figure out the grind and you dial in your messaging and who you really want to be and get that clarity. And it took me a couple of years to do that, but it's, we've been at it for a while. In fact, I was in an event not too long ago, and another guy in our space was in the room, and we hadn't met in person before. He came up and he goes, "Hey, it's the Godfather." And I was like, and we chuckled a little, but yeah, we've been doing it a long time. And, we've had great guests, and great help along the way. And I had an idea, and fortunately, I got some people to rally around the idea, and I've been able to build a great team and that are way more talented than me in the areas that count the most when you want to do something like this. And I just a lot of gratitude here for what we're doing, man.
That's cool. Yeah, I totally get it. I've been in business a little over 10 years, and like the first few definitely struggled to figure things out, and we're not like a fast growth startup or anything like that. So I totally get it, but it is really about getting around people that are smarter than you, that are good where you're weak. And I'm still working on that, right now. So I know that's something that contractors need to work on too. We all need to work on it. So We'll definitely talk about that, Tom, today. I want to dig into that as far as like hiring and building a team and all that. But I want to start out with the Contractor Fight, the name. So I'll just be straight
Yeah.
up. Years ago, when I first saw that, the Contractor Fight, I was like, to me, that has a negative connotation because it's like
Hmm.
I get that business entrepreneurship it
Yeah.
kicks you in the balls every day, right? Proverbially
Hmm.
speaking. But like the fight thing, like I don't like to think about it as like I get up and fight, right? That's like a negative thing for me.
Yeah.
But I just like to share that because I know you got a thick skin. I know you're not offended or anything like that. I know you have your reasons behind it. So, what is that all about to you? Why'd you name it that? What does that mean to you and to your cohorts of contractors?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it really stems from the 6 inches between our ears. That's where the real fight happens in life and business and success. And, I don't care what you're doing, but contractors in particular, um, the trades have been viewed as a fallback option. If you don't go to college, you could go to the trades. And I've always wanted to flip that narrative, and the first place you start to do that is how you think about it, how you think about your value and what you're worth and the value you bring to the world and your community. And, success in anything from sports to business to whatever is going to come down to your mental toughness and how you choose to show up and the habits that you develop. And so that's really the story behind the name. And it's funny, I wake up in the morning and I look at every day as a fight, I'm a Marine Corps veteran and things like that, so it's just different worldview. And to me, it gives me a little pep in my step every day to know that, I get to go to war every day with what's between my ears and help other people do the same. And then the rest is just math and some marketing stuff, right? So
Yeah, there you
and,
go.
and tactics and strategies. But if you don't have you'll always be limited on your success if you don't get the 6 inches between your ears right.
Yeah, absolutely. Does that tie into kind of what you said at the beginning, where you guys started out as business coaching and now you're helping, it's evolved into helping clients in every area of their lives? Did that happen? That was unplanned, but that happened as a
Yeah.
need, I assume, because you saw that importance of that mental clarity and that mental toughness, right?
Yeah, we were accidentally brilliant with this, so it's one of those. I think it just stems from. I don't say this to brag, but I think every now and then, I talk a lot about owning your crap. You got to own your crap, but I've recently kind of been on this kick, going. I think there's times you got to own your greatness too. And give yourself credit for the good that you're doing, and it's not just about owning your crap. And one of the things over the past several months, I guess it's been, that I've really come to terms to own is the fact that one of my strengths is just being real and vulnerability. And that's just how I choose to show up. I don't BS anybody. Inside our community and things like that, I share about things that are going on in my life and struggles I'm having between my ears. And I think that that's modeled for the group how to show up and for the community. And I think that's why it's kind of turned into way more than just business coaching. It's, we'll have people in our community post, like, they're going through breast cancer, or they had a kid who died in a car accident, and they don't know how to show up and hit their feet on the floor the next day. And I think that's just something that every human being has other things going on in their life besides their business. And I just personally think it's a disservice if we're not there to help them through those other things, the good and the bad. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm most proud. Like, when I get on stage and I speak, a lot of times I'll open up with, like, I really don't care about your business, because you can always start a new one. I care how you show up at home with your spouse. I care how you show up with your kids. I care that you're 50 pounds overweight and you can't, and you're shaving years off your life, and you're going to miss out on, stealing from your family doesn't mean just money. It's time, it's memories and things like that. So that's what I'm really after. Cause I think some of the things that we, beat the drum on here are just universal, and wherever you go in your life, whatever you do for a career or a business. And so we're just in the business of trying to make better human beings, and it just happens to be in the contracting world. And I don't want to say better human beings like they're all busted up. I just think I want people to, if you're performing at an 8 out of a 10, let's get you to a 9. You know, let's, I don't care where you're at on that spectrum, there's always another level. Even if you think you're a 10, there's an 11.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like you and I have both been on this journey the past decade or so building our businesses, and you hit a level and then you realize how much you don't know and how much more potential there is. And so with every bit of growth, if you're paying attention and have any self-awareness, you realize you're not even close to being done. It's
Yeah. I laugh because I experienced that just last week. I consider myself a pretty disciplined and dialed in guy who time blocks his calendar and everything like that.
Mhm.
And I read this book, finished this book last week, and the entrepreneur who wrote it, guy who owns a few businesses and things like that, he went through his weekly execution plan. He shared a sample of his daily calendar, from the minute he wakes up till he goes to bed. And I realized, I'm like, man, I am at this level with this guy. Adam is at this level. And yesterday I revised my whole calendar. I created a weekly execution plan for myself, a Sunday plan for my family and I to get on the same page for the week. So I thought I was at a 9, and here I am going to a 9.7. I don't think I'll ever be. You're never at a 10. Am I a 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, there's always levels to this. So I agree there. You mentioned on the top of your website, Tom, and I did more research than obviously going to the top of your website, but I know it's, you talk about it in all your content, and you already mentioned the 3 things: stop stealing from your family, earn what you're worth, and build a business that serves you. And I see those themes all over your content. Can you talk a little bit about why you chose those 3 pillars? I would call them pillars for, for the focal point of your business.
Yeah. Because I did the opposite of all those things for many years, and I would, like most of the people listening to this, working hard probably isn't your problem, right? You're working hard, you're getting up every day, you're grinding, and if you don't have some key concepts in place, like we talked about, how you think, I'll start with earn what you're worth. I did a podcast many years ago. It said, just because you're a contractor doesn't mean that you only work in gated communities. How about living in one? You're adding value to the world. You have a family, and your employees and their families and this and that are counting on you to show up every day with the confidence that, yeah, we're going to get ours. And that's not, a lot of people hear that and they think it's a selfish thing. But one of our key things here in the fight is you got to get oxygen first. If I don't have oxygen, I'm not as good for everybody else. And so I think, when you're not there with how you decide to show up and think and how you view yourself, I'm worth, I could ask this question right now to an audience and go, what are you worth? And everybody, there are 100 people in the room, there'll be 100 different answers. And chances are that you're worth, throw a couple more zeros on whatever number you said. Just because you're a plumber or remodeler or whatever it is, I think the world, the society as a whole, I'm 53. As long as I can remember, it's been sending this message that contractors are less than. Contractors they're not reliable. They're not going to show up. They're not going to communicate well. They're going to rip you off. They're going to nickel and dime you. And that's so far from the truth of the average contractor. In any industry, there's the bad apples, right? But and I think if we're not careful, we allow prospects to beat us up. I mean, I remember back in the day having people print my contract off, and they would put all these changes on it and fax it back to us, and I'm like, you don't get to do that, what? Because we're a painting company here at the time we were. And so because we don't put in the work like we do to learn our trade and to learn how to run a business, we let people walk all over us, and we don't earn what we're worth. We don't earn at least the value that we're delivering. And so, and many years, and what that does is it causes you to steal from your family. I mean, there were periods where it'd be a decade before I took my family on a vacation because I wasn't earning enough money. Everyone was getting paid but me, and that's not fair. And, I remember taking the family vacation we were able to take. I couldn't afford ice cream for the whole family because I was afraid my debit card wouldn't work. And so that's just a real crappy feeling, man. When you ever go to the restaurant and you look at what you want on the left side of the menu, and then you look on the right side of what it costs. I spent too many years ordering from the right side of the menu instead of the left side of the menu, and I just think people need a voice to, like you're doing what we're doing, like, man, you're worth this and you're adding value. And there's a lot of risks in the trades and, time, money, property, your health. You only have so many years in your body to do things. And so that's really, the heart of where those pillars come from is, get oxygen, get yours. And that's okay. We always talk about success starts at home and it's an inside out game, right? I work on me. I give my best to the people in my household. And then from there, the next ring is the fight team. And then from there, it's building the business. It's our, empire, if you want to call it that, right? So, and a lot of times we have it flipped and we end up just being a servant to this business and we neglect all the things on the inner part of that circle. And everyone's heard this, through the years, but we just, I think, I know for many years I was like, well, I have to do this and I have to do these things this way and I have to care about what the going rate is, what others are charging and all these other, and that's just garbage. No, you got to do you. You focus on you. I like to say, mind your business, right? Don't worry about my business. You worry about your business.
Right.
And I don't care what my competitors are charging because I know what it takes to get oxygen here. And when I say oxygen, I don't mean guys like just getting by. I mean, the purpose of a business in any realm, any industry, is to make a profit. And it's to make a really good profit so that you can reinvest back into your people. You can give them a future, give them a career. I think this is also why, in the trades, it's so, it's been tough for people to build their teams and to recruit people into the trades because they're looking at the people that they know in the trades. Like me, I love my dad but he was a tile guy and my uncle's a painting contractor. I love him to death. And I'd say with the exception of my uncle, damn near every contractor I ever looked at didn't have a life that I wanted. So I'm like, why would I go into that?
Right.
They're tired, they're broke. We always lived on this side of the tracks and the people with the money lived on that side of the tracks growing up. So you don't hear anything today, guys. Just commit to getting yours and understand it's not selfish. You have to get yours. And we're so concerned with being fair to our customers and yet we screw our families over in a heartbeat, and that's like running out and doing bids at like 8:00 at night or on a Sunday or whatever it is. And, and I need you to break this down 17 ways and revise your proposal for us because we're going to compare it to the other 14 estimates we got. I mean, no, we're not playing that game. We just don't do things that way. And so we're really trying to create a new standard in the contracting world that, it's elite men and women that know their shit. And this is our process and this is how we roll. And if you don't like it, go hire somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so, yeah, I could fire up on that all day. So,
yeah. And I totally see that. I totally see both sides of that, where a contractor starts, or even me, like started my business 10 years ago and just kind of like, hey, doing whatever for whoever wants to give you money, not even knowing what profit is, just trying to, charge as much as you can kind of think you can get away with. And then you kind of mature as a business owner and you understand profit and you understand how to position yourself and, that the customer's not always right and things like that. But I know that's a journey. So like, maybe this is skipping ahead a little bit, but when a contractor, is listening to this and maybe they end up joining one of your programs or your Facebook group or whatever it might be, like, that might seem overwhelming to go from like, that point A to point B. So is there like a progression? Is it mindset first? Is there certain systems to get in place first? I know you talk a lot about your podcast content, like doubling your prices, raising your prices, not being scared. Like, where does someone start with that? Like, all right, I get it, but I feel like I do need to go out on that estimate 8:00 tonight. I feel like I do need to sharpen my pencil when the customer asks for that because I've got bills to pay. I got a family to feed. Like, where do I start with that?
Yeah. And before I answer that, let me piggyback on what I just said. Most of the issues that a contractor has, most of the issues you have and I have are friendly fire. Okay. Like we hose ourselves. So if you're not making money as a contractor, look in the mirror. You got to own your crap first. And so now I'll answer your question. Like all the progress that you want and the success you want starts with you looking in the mirror and telling yourself the truth, right? Like, where am I getting in the way of our success? And so that's why we always start with the mental game. And I'm not talking the mental game like I'm just going to will things into my life, right? You got to put in the work and stuff, but like just be real. Like if you're going to charge premium prices, then you better look the part. Right? You know this. Your marketing sends a message. The way you answer the phone sends a message. All these things send a message. So a lot of the pushback that guys are getting, in fact, I just recorded a video the other day, why customers F with you. Okay? Why they don't want to pay you at the end. Why they blue tape the crap out of the project at the end, right? Why they nickel and dime you. Why they, they want you to break the bid down 40 ways from Sunday and all this other stuff. It's because they don't trust you. And they don't trust you many times because of very preventable things, starting with just how are you choosing to show up? Are you showing up with confidence? Are you showing up with a desperate energy to you, which a lot of guys do? I mean, you're in marketing, you know this. I always tell people, sell like you're independently wealthy and market like your next meal depends on it. Okay. And so a lot of these guys, right now we're getting into it's April as we're recording this, 2023. A lot of you guys listen to this, your phone's going to start ringing and you're going to think building your brand and marketing and all this stuff is like optional. And then you're going to wake up in November, December, January, February, and you're going to be crying poor. Okay. And whining and griping about how, you don't have enough money saved or you don't have enough leads or whatever it is. And it's because you didn't own your crap and go, no, my number one job is to get eyeballs, period. And that's a mindset shift. So when I say mindset stuff, it's not just like, being mentally tough. It's going, the minute you hang your shingle on your company and open up your doors, you are no longer a craftsman first. Okay. You are a salesperson first. And you don't have sales if you don't have leads. And so this is what I mean, where we work on the mindset stuff. The have-tos of I got to pay the bills and I have to go do this bid at 8:00. Well, the mindset shift might be, would you just for 5 seconds maybe consider there's a different way of doing this other than stealing a night or a weekend from your family?
Right.
What if we could teach you a 15-minute conversation before you jumped in your truck and wasted 2 hours or 3 hours of your life and then coming home and pecking away at your computer and then negotiating against yourself for 3 hours before you send the bid at night, And so if I could show you in 15 minutes, 20 minutes on a phone call with a prospect, let's figure out if we're a good fit. Let's talk about your motive, what's important to you. Let's talk some rough budget numbers and some things like that. And that's better for the customer too, or the prospect, because they don't want to waste time with somebody who's not a good fit. If they got a $4,000 budget and you have a $40,000 solution, that's not a fit. So why would we bother going out there? And so everything starts with that mindset of, if you want different results, you got to start thinking and acting a different way. And that's where everything starts. And then from there, we move typically, across the board, we go to confidence in numbers, what it really means to know your numbers. What's your break-even point? Dude, when I do this live audiences and stuff, it's funny to see the looks on their face. But if, you got a contractor that's got a $35,000 a month overhead and he's producing work at 35% gross profit, he's got to deposit $100,000 a year or a month just to break even at zero to have the money left to pay the $35,000 overhead each month. Okay. And if your average job size $5,000 or whatever, it's 20 jobs, or you could do the math, right? So we help people really, you break that $100,000 down into how many working days in the month. So there's 22 working days in the month. You got to be signing depositing on average $4,500 a day into your bank account. And so we're really big on don't mess with the money, ring the cash register daily. One of our big mantras with knowing your numbers, and we get so much pushback from contractors because their mindset's jacked up and they think the going rate matters and the going rate doesn't matter, is, we encourage guys to get a 50% gross profit. It cost me $5,000 to produce the job, sell it for at least 10. So that $35,000 produced at 50%, sold and produced, now I only have to deposit $70,000 a month to break even. So if I deposit 100 and produce it at 50, I'm going to have what, 20, what was it? 35, $15,000 or whatever it is towards net profit. And now I'm building my own line of credit. I'm not desperate. I'm, not job to job and things like that. So that's the pillar one, is confidence in numbers. Number two, we move over to what we call sell unafraid. And, we teach people how to connect with their their prospects in ways that their competitors never will, at an emotional level, where we position you to be the only option that they want to work with. And if they don't, then they opt themselves out in a very friendly way. And then pillar 3 is all about getting eyeballs. Let's make sure that we're continually prospecting, getting the right eyeballs, the qualified leads, dialing in your ideal client, all the things I know that you do for people. I don't know about you, but when I know I have 100 leads to follow up, it's much easier to sell unafraid. It's much easier to
Oh
stick to my
yeah.
pricing. But if I got 3 leads, then I start becoming a chicken about it. And so, yeah, everything's kind of rooted in those 3 things. And then, there's ancillary stuff off of that. But that's really the core of what we do in the fight.
All right. Love that. Love that. That's huge. Absolutely. Yeah. Having the abundance of deal flow, man, it's such a better way to live. Live with abundance instead of that scarcity, which you make bad decisions, you sound desperate, you have commission breath, like people can feel it,
Commission breath. I love that. Yeah,
People can smell it
that's
a
great.
mile away. So yeah, those are all good. Now, one of the recent podcast episodes you have is "Be a Rifle, Not a Shotgun," and that can mean different things. I know, we work a lot of contractors, and a lot of times, you start out providing all sorts of different services. I know I did that in my business, and then you figure out, you get more mature, and you focus in. Is that what you mean by rifle, not a shotgun, or something else?
Yeah, it's really about, I think the 2 most important words in business are clarity and consistency. So get clear on the targets that you want, and then be consistent with the stuff that it takes every day to get there, right? And chip away and win those moments every day, and those small little moments throughout the day that you're chipping away at, those stack and compound over time, and then the next thing you know, you got your target. And so an example would be, and I want to be clear, we're not like a marketing company. We're not we don't do any of that for you. But when I talk about, setting your goals for the year, a guy will go, I want to do $1 million. And I go, okay, where? He's like, what do you mean where? I said, well, what type of project? Where do you want to do them? Let's get, so for instance, I want to grow my business by $500,000 in 2023 from 2022. Okay, where do you want the growth to be? If you're a painting contractor, it might be, I want $500,000 of new interior painting business in these subdivisions or this area of town or whatever it is. That will give you clarity. And so that's what I mean about sniper, where most guys, this, they just kind of spray and pray, right? And they wonder why, it's kind of like the laser beam thing. You put a laser on something, it fries it right away. But if you're spreading it out all over the place, it's just not as impactful. So, be a sniper when it comes to working on your business. Somebody comes into our battleground program and I go, okay, well, let's help you identify the one thing that you need to work on right now. And for most people, and we have a whole map to follow, it starts with numbers and it goes to sell unafraid. Then month 3, the first 3 months it's a 3-month onboarding. The whole first month we say, let's get confidence in your numbers. Let's get that first. Then let's learn how to sell. That way, when you're throwing leads into the thing, you know what to do with the leads. Right. And so it'd be very easy to just go, hey, here's a big buffet of all these things that we could coach you on and train you on. And then your energy's divided and your focus is divided and you don't move as fast.
Yeah, I experienced that too, for sure. On the specializing your services, we had a client call today with a group of our clients, and one of them, he's about $1.5 million company, roofing and siding and exteriors. I have my roofing goal, I have my siding goal. This guy's actually just setting up his first ever CRM this year, which is wild, but he's an old school contractor. So he's like, yeah, I set up the roofing portion of it. Now I got to set up the siding and the windows and the doors and all that stuff. And, one of our coaches on our team was like, hey, would you just focus on roofing if you had more roofing leads? And he's like, yeah, let's just focus there instead of trying to build out marketing and sales and production processes and crews for all these types of services when you're kind of a one-man show anyway. Focus on the roofing and grow that. Get your numbers where you want them to grow.
Yeah, and a lot of people get seduced by the word scale, right? I want to scale my business, and I'm like, well, let's make sure we're not scaling a turd, right? If I got a small little pile of poop right now, let's not make a bigger one. And so, we kind of had this very loose framework that we use behind the scenes here, but it's like, you own your crap, you carry a light pack. That I call that your overhead. Like, I live right near Pikes Peak here in Colorado Springs, and I see it every day. And I'm like, would I want to climb that mountain with a 200-pound pack or a 20-pound pack? Right. And so a lot of companies are just carrying too much overhead, too much dead weight. So let's make sure that you're lean and mean there. And then let's make sure you're pricing and producing for a profit at a 50% or better. And then let's multiply the Benjamins, right? After that point, let's think about scaling. But, over and over and over, dude, people are like, oh, I need to add a sales team and this and that, and I need to double my leads. And I'm like, well, what if we just shave 5%? I believe small hinges move big doors, right? So let's get a little bit better, a couple percentage better in your lead gen. If you're doing 30 leads a month now, let's get you to 35. And if your close rate is, 30, let's get to 32. And if your gross profit is 35, let's get you to 40. And if your overhead is this, let's shave 5%. And the blended effects of all those things end up being tens of thousands of dollars a month. So you don't have to swing for the fences all the time. I'm a base hit guy,
Yeah.
And so it's funny you're talking about like dialing it in with this guy with the roofing and stuff. Here in the fight, we've been doing this for quite a while, and for many years we had all these different programs and things like that. And in the last year, just back to owning your crap, we're like, what do we do best? What do we do better than anybody in the world in this space? And it's group coaching. Because in our group coaching, you get access to me. You get access to my whole coaching team. It's not like you just presentations and you don't have interaction. Like, you literally get fanatical attention within our group. So to add different levels and roundtables and masterminds and all, we've tried it. It's bombed every time because it wasn't our sweet spot. It wasn't what we do best. And what I felt, I said to my CEO, Neil, I said, I feel like if we're going to have battleground and then we were going to have, I hate this frame with a higher level coaching group. I just hate that phrase. Okay. If we're going to have this, that means we're holding something back in battleground. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm an all in guy. So I think the longer you're in business, you kind of start learning to build your company around your values and the things that are important to you and your strengths and things like that. It doesn't mean like I do very limited one-on-one, 6-figure one-on-one coaching packages for higher level companies. And I take on like 3 of them a year. You know what I mean? I do speaking gigs, I do workshops, but as far as our programs go, I'm like, why would we have a program and not just make it the very best of everything we do in the fight? And here it is. And so that was something that we kind of had to eat, and it was a painful time because we shut down some programs, we pissed some people off, and but in the long run, we knew it was the best move because we can guarantee the outcomes for people. Mm-hmm. Right? You know this doing what you do. Like if you hand one of your clients your marketing map and you're like, dude, this is the formula that's proven over and over and over to work, and you're willing to hang your hat on that, then you got to go all in on something. It's just like our contractors listening to this right now. That's why, the mental game is important with taking control of your business and not let it run you. Like if you go to Mrs. Jones's house to remodel her bathroom, and Mr. Jones, who's a former GC, we all have those people. I used to be in the trades, right? Those guys, and they want to start telling you how to run the job. Yeah. Now it's not on it's not your proven process now anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to be a mess, and nobody's going to get what they want at the end of it. And I know those listening, they'll make it right and all this other stuff, or like your sales process. If you have 300 leads coming in and you don't have a solid sales process, now you're on 300 different processes based on the prospect that you're talking with. But we have people that call in and go, hey, listen, I want to get an estimate. Great. Hey, are you cool if I share with you how we go about this? Yeah. You're going to text us a picture through our website and upload a video or a picture. Then I'm going to call you back and we're going to have a 15-minute call. And when they give pushback because your competitors aren't doing this, you're going to say, hey, Joe, you shared with me earlier that you called us because of all the nice reviews on Google. Did I get that right? And Joe's going to say, yeah. Well, are you okay if I share with you why we get those great reviews and so many referrals? Yeah, we follow our process 100% of the time. Every time we've ever swayed from our process, things don't go right. So I understand that this might be a little different, but if we want to work together or consider working together, this is how I can guarantee you're going to get the great experience that you want and the finished product and this and that. So what would you like to do next? And 100% of the time, when you position it that way with confidence, they get on board, right? Like I was talking to one of our team members. They have a family member going through some health issues right now and have to have some surgery. And just this morning, he called me. He's like, boy, that doctor is sure a surgeon. I said, what do you mean? He says, there is no questioning their process and what they're going to do. He's like, just talking to this guy's spouse, just going, you're going to do this. You're going to get this much sleep before the surgery. You're not going to eat this. You're going to do this. But there's a confidence there of like that swagger, right? It's a little bit, and I don't mean coming across like we're a bunch of arrogant know-it-alls, but guys, how many years of experience do you have under your belt? Building the projects that you're doing and serving the customers and problems you've seen through the years and things like that. You're doing a disservice if you don't take control of that with people and say, this is how we roll here. If you want to play in the gray areas, go hire somebody else. But I'm going to put you or my team through this pain of us not following our process. So that's what I mean by having that confidence and that mindset behind it. And I apologize if you all hear my attack chihuahua barking in the background.
It's your fight dog.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's that, but he's certainly an annoying dog. So,
I get that, Tom. Like we have one training program right now, and that's what we've had for so long, years. And there's, it's not for everyone. It's not a great fit for everyone. And there's, smaller contractors who are like, hey, you got anything else? And like we're always so tempted to be like, yeah, like I have this other thing, but again, like. We don't want to put that out there knowing that it's not going to really maybe work that well. And then, we risk, not helping them, tarnishing our brand and reputation because we're putting something subpar out there. So we're very slow and methodical about that.
Yeah. And I don't know how you handle this with your clients, but, I'll have people reach out to me and go, all right, I get the idea, Tom, like you're a general contractor and through job costing and all this other stuff, we realize that, I don't know, let's just pick, bathrooms are their sweet spot, right? And, they job cost are like, man, every time we do a bathroom, we're on schedule. We have the system down, we're crushing it and, 50, 60% gross profit, like blah, blah, blah. And I really want to, Tom, I get your point. I want to put the crosshairs on getting more bathrooms, but number one, there's a ramp up period to where all those leads, right, are bathrooms. Because, most of us who start a business, your phone's going to ring for hey, can you build me a garage if you're a GC? Can you do a siding job? Can you do this? And I'm curious how you handle this. I usually tell people, I'm like, once you choose those one or two project types that are your sweet spot, you're probably gonna be like, that's the worst thing ever, Tom. So I didn't say this was good advice. This is just what I say. I say you spend all your time and marketing budget and energy focused on getting what you want. Those other things, I literally would take them off my website. Okay. And I would, when those other types of leads that are not within my sweet spot come in, you evaluate it on an individual basis. Like, is this a project that we want to, and in those cases, you don't have to play the typical game. Like if most people say it's a garage, right? And you want to charge whatever the hell you want to charge for the garage and they want to work for you, then by all means, go do the garage, right? So I'm curious how you handle that, because I know for a lot of guys, when we all start anything, and I started my painting business, I would take on any type of job, right? Because you got to eat. So I get that. But if you're not careful to kind of narrow the lane, the longer you're in business to what you really do best, you can end up on this hamster wheel. So how do you do that?
For our business?
Well, for your clients, you got a builder that comes to you and says, yeah, I get what you say about focus. Yeah.
Oh, the guy, Kevin, I was talking about before, our client who's like, starting to CRM this year. He's been in business for a bunch of years, all these different services. And it's like, that might be tempting. Take on a siding job when you want to focus on roofing. But like, think about how much of a disruption that is to your processes, to your crews, to you as the owner, having to maybe oversee that because there's no one else in the company that can oversee that, and you're taking away, there's always an opportunity cost, right? Like people don't see that. Like there's an opportunity cost for everything. Like you're going to chase this thing over here, but you're missing out on the opportunity to double down on your main thing. That's huge. So, that could be anything. That could be going to a conference. It can be, investing in something. It could be whatever it is, buying a truck like that you don't need. Like there's always an opportunity cost that you're giving up because you're choosing that thing. So, and to me, yeah, as a marketing guy, it comes down to deal flow. Like, yeah, you can't confidently say no to something if, unless you have a good solid pipeline of good fits to go tend to, right? But if you have a scarce pipeline, then yeah, you're going to have to chase those things chase those rabbits just to pay the bills, which is, marketing doesn't solve all issues, but when you have ample deal flow, it gives you a lot more options, gives you a little bit more breathing room. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys listening to this, if you don't have a marketing strategy, a plan, something in place, call Joe, because I want to tell you why. A lot of people try to do it on their own, and that's as ridiculous as me trying to do my own bathroom, right? If I'm not a bathroom remodeler, I mean, how many times as contractors we go, this idiot wanted to do it himself? Are you kidding me? Yet I see contractors try to do their own marketing, build their own websites, do their own ads, do their own bookkeeping, all this other stupid stuff, and it takes their focus off what they do best. But here's the point of this, guys. And it took me a long time to learn this. And I'm ripping off a quote. I forget who it is. It ain't me, but it's something like, good marketing is like in golf when you have such a good shot, that good marketing is going to put the ball closer to the hole. Okay.
Yeah.
So that by the time you get on that first sales call, it's a gimme putt. It's just a gimme.
All right, guys. So I want to jump in here real quick in the middle of this episode. Tom just gave us a nice shout out to call Joe for your marketing needs. We are actually here at Contractor Dynamics. We are a marketing training company. So I completely agree with Tom. Don't try to spend some time and figuring out your own website and Google Ads and all this complex stuff, right? However, one of the things that is super important for every contracting company to do in-house is to do their video content, right? We've all got this machine that we need to use to show people who we are, to get out there in our communities, to show our team, to show our people, to show our clients, to get our clients on video, do testimonials, to show pictures and videos of our projects in order to build that know, like, and trust. Tom and I have been talking about building your pipelines. You can confidently say no to things that aren't a good fit and then say yes to those things that are a good fit. But we can only say no confidently if we know that we have that pipeline. And one of the best and most effective ways to build that pipeline today is to get on this device and share your content out there to build that know, like, and trust, to get people to know who you are, to be a top of mind contractor in your local area. So our team and I at Contractor Dynamics, our marketing training company, we train you on how to create your own content, run your own videos, run your own social media ads, really build out that social media marketing machine inside your business that runs 24/7, 365 to build your brand, to generate appointments and sales, and also to recruit top talent to join your mission. So if you want to learn more about that at any point, go to contractordynamics.com, our website. You can see some free training videos, schedule a call with our team in a no pressure way. But that is something that is imperative today, whether you talk with us or not. Use this device. You've already got it. You're already out there doing work. Just document what you're doing and share that on social media consistently. And that's the way to accelerate your brand and the growth of your company. Now back to Tom.
Like, good marketing is going to move them through. It's going to demolish objections, right? It's going to show value. It's going to build trust and all these other things. That combined with you actually calling when you said you would and doing all the different things that we've talked about earlier, to honor the commitments that you're making, that makes the sale easy. So, and dude, I see this all the time, and I'm tired of it. It's you ever have these hot buttons, like maybe on social media, dude? If you're like anything like me, you're competitive and stuff, and you just want to help people win and whatever. Like when I see things like, hey, anyone know a good YouTube video I could use to build a website or to do my own ads or whatever it is, and it just makes me want to like punch him in the face because I'm like, dude, you're going to waste so much time. Like I would rather you outsource the marketing, okay, to somebody with a proven history of kicking ass. Take your time that you would spend on that. Go join a damn BNI group. Go network. Join your chamber of commerce. Shake hands. Hand out cards. Like build your influencer list. Like, I love our online world, dude, but I see so many people neglecting just the human to human connection because they're stuck in their damn bedroom or basement till 1 a.m. trying to figure out why their Facebook ad isn't working. And it's like, I don't know. I don't want to light my fuse here and go crazy because on these rants.
No,
Guys, don't be cheap. Like you guys will go out and you'll spend, $30, $40, $60,000 on a piece of equipment because it makes you money in the field. Totally get it. All right. Isn't that what your marketing is? It's a tool. It's a tool to make you money. Like I had one guy go, oh my God, this guy wants to charge me 20 grand to build a website. And I'm like, well, what's your average job size? He's like 50 grand. I said, what's the problem? You're not going to drop 20 to have a thing selling for you 24/7, 365, generating leads for you. Okay. That tee up these sales calls for you to close a few $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And I think that's where contractors annoy me, man. This is the other thing, because I know you speak a lot. You go to some of these home improvement shows, and me and guys like me and you, we speak. Okay, our room will have like 7 people in it, right? And then you go out by the tools, and it's like a tool porn show out there, right? And it's like you guys don't understand the money's made in here with the shit that's coming out of Joe's mouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, great. The tools are great, but if you would just put a quarter of that effort and focus into learning how to run a better business that you do about your interest in a tool, you would crush it. You would absolutely crush it.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm off my soapbox, Joe. I'm off my soapbox. I promise. This is your show, not mine. So.
No, that's great. I'll let you go. Yeah, no. I just want to be cognizant of time. I know you got a call coming up and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, definitely for you guys. I got some more questions to ask you, but you guys are vibing with what Tom is talking about. Go to thecontractorfight.com right now. Subscribe to his YouTube, his podcast, all his content, so you can get more of that juice that Tom is spitting out. He's got plenty of it, 760 something podcast episodes, YouTube, all over the place. So you're absolutely crushing it. I wanted to switch gears a little bit to talk about this because, you mentioned family at the beginning. Stop stealing from your family. That's something that's important to me. I see on social media, you're traveling with your new bride all over the country, bringing her to events. That's something that's very important to you. You're at kids' soccer games and things like that. Talk about that for a while, for a little bit. The importance of family to you, and maybe that's something that you've neglected in the past, and how that's it all ties together, right? You can't. I think there's this misconception that like, all right, I'm in business building mode. I got to grind. I'm doing it for my family. But if you're not around, then you're not doing it for your family. So unpack that a little bit, because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah. I understand there's seasons of life and business, right? There's go time. You're a startup, you're working 20 hours a day, whatever it is, and this and that. And I think that's just a conversation with your spouse, right? Like, hey, let's find a rhythm here that works for us. But the whole goal here is I wanted to build a life that I didn't give my wife and our kids. We have 5 kids between us. I don't want to give them my scraps. I want them to get my best. And so when I plan my day, when I plan my week, it's I take care of me first. Then I plan, like, every day my wife and I have a date. Okay. It might be in the backyard having a glass of wine at the end of the day for 15 minutes, might be taking a bath, might be going out, whatever it is. But every day we have that connection time. And now I'm fortunate where I have a great team. They handle a lot of things. So I know I'm in a different period of life, right? So I get that. I know some people have young kids and it's really hard. But I will tell you, when I was in that stage with my ex and our kids were young, I used work as an excuse to not show up the way I needed to. And I'm not saying I was a bad dad or anything like that, but I was a football coach for 17 years. So I always look at the game tape and I'm like, okay, what can I learn looking at the game tape about how I showed up in that marriage? and as a dad and things like that. And I can't do anything about how I did. And you ask my kids now, they're like, Dad, you were there. It was great. Okay. But I did not live by the rules I'm talking about now about success starts at home and some of those other things. I love my family and I loved my ex-wife, and I was busting my ass every day in the name of providing for them, but not realizing at the same time in some areas I was stealing from them. So that's why it's so important to me now and I think our world needs more and better examples of relationships, of what it means to, if I can inspire another husband, another guy to be a better husband and to show up better at home, then it's a total win. And, but it's really just who I am now, and it's who I've always wanted to be. I just didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to balance it all, and I think it really came down to just learning to be, number one, a better communicator. Actually, before that, it was getting clarity what I really wanted. Then it was learning how to really communicate and have these conversations with my wife. So, like right now, if we're going into a crazy go time season or something for the Contractor Fight, like a few week run where I'm going to be crazy, I will now go to her and I'll go, hey, babe, these next few weeks are going to be nuts, And so let's get a few times on the calendar here, and for like formal date nights and this and that. Or I'll be like, just so you know, if you see me on my phone at 10 o'clock at night laying in bed answering DMs, it's because we're launching Battleground in the next few days or whatever it is, and I'm answering questions. And she totally gets it. She couldn't be better with it, right? But she's also part of it. Her name's Lee, but we call her the Queen. And she's part of the community. I bring her into the business. She's on stage with me at the events. She's helping some of the spouses, understand, how to be more supportive of their husbands and things like that. And, I did a post a while back, right? Almost every single time I travel to speak or do anything for work, she comes with me.
I saw that post. Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, I know I'm in a different place of life, you guys. So I'm not saying like I want to be, empathetic to that, right? She's a hunter jumper trainer in the horse world, equestrian world. She was a top amateur rider for years. She's been a top trainer, and she's winding her career down and kind of retiring, so she doesn't have to work anymore anyway. And we just have more freedom than most people. However, the reason I bring her 98% of the time is because when we're apart, our mojo is off. Like, it just jacks with our momentum as a couple and the impact that we want. And we share the values of wanting to have an impact in the world and help people and this and that. And so I'm just unwilling at this point in my life to be away one more day than I need to. And so it's a non-negotiable. It's like, and so I tell people in our speaking contracts and stuff, I'm like, hey, just so you know, my wife's usually on my hip, and nobody ever has a problem with it, but it's just setting that expectation. So, but I think it's important also for, I think, any business owner, your guys listening to this that have, whatever their contracting business is, share your life with us now. And I, like, you do what you want to do with privacy with your kids and all those other things. Like my kids are older now, so I post them more, but there was a period, people were stealing pictures online and using them on fake accounts, and it got really ugly. And so for about a 4-year period, I stopped posting any pictures of my kids' faces and stuff like that. But people hire human beings. And I think your marketing goes a long way when you show us who you are. Dude, yeah. You look at my Instagram at Real Tom Reber, I get way more engagement and shares and likes and clients when I do the posts of the Queen and I than I do some video I do about gross profit. Because people want to know, this. People want to, or you at the gym, I see your shots and like you're living a life. You're a disciplined dude. You're a family guy. You're not just some business robot. And that helps build trust in who people are hiring, who they choose to work with. A lot of contractors are like, oh, I keep my business and my personal life separate, right?
Yeah.
I kind of call BS on that, because you're not Apple. You're not Amazon. You're not some big corporate vice president of a company when I'm hiring a contractor here, if there's a trade I don't already know, I find them on Google. I look at the reviews, and then I search them on social. I want to give, so the whole work-life balance thing, I I almost don't believe in it because I'm an all in guy. So, like when I'm working, I'm all in. When I'm not working, I'm all in. And it's more like a seesaw or a teeter totter for me than it is trying to walk the tightrope and balancing everything. But I would say, it's important for me to. I mean, dude, I'm not for everybody, and I get a little fiery and in people's faces, and and so I also need to balance that out with showing people that I have a heart.
Yeah. Right.
That
Right.
I
Right.
am really a loving and kind guy. I just get amped up because I love what I do. I love helping people, and I want these guys to win.
Right.
You know, and I think the best way that I can help somebody win is to be an example first and
Yeah.
foremost. Right? Have my own shit together and have my own house in order,
Yep.
so that I'm not a fraud.
Yeah. And you're modeling that behavior for your team as well as your clients and your audience too. So that's important. I heard recently someone referred to it as work life presence, something like that. So, like, whatever you're doing, you're able to be fully present, if that's business, if that's family, which is, it's, on paper, it looks good. It's really hard, as right? Like, you're with your family at night, physically eating dinner, but you're thinking about, like, a million
Yeah,
things you got to
yeah.
do. So, for me, that's the ultimate, like, place that I desire to be, like, as much as possible, is to have that presence to be wherever my feet are.
My coach is always in my grill with that. He says, "Be where your feet are." Okay, and so think of it this way: if you are standing in your kitchen, you just it's 7 o'clock at night. You've been working in the field or whatever you're doing, running your business, and the phone rings, and you look down, and it's a client. All right. If you're anything like I was for many years, you're answering the call. You're having a conversation with your wife. You go, "Hold on, honey, it's a customer."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flip it. Flip it. You're out in the field. You're at work. Your wife calls. Are you going, "Hold on, it's my wife"? Hold on, it's my wife. And when I get real with people, we have this conversation. A lot of people admit, they're like, "Yeah, I usually double click it and I'll call her back when I'm done with the client." And so it's those little things, like on my show, when we record my show, The Contractor Fight, I tell my guests, I try to tell my guests, if I remember, "Hey, I'm all yours unless my wife or one of my kids calls." And then I'm answering. I tell my clients that when I'm running a call with a couple hundred of our members on it or something like that, I'm like, "Guys, you know the rule. I'm all here. I'm all in. But if the queen or a kid calls, we're calling a timeout." And this goes back a way deeper reason. But number one, I just think if those are your most important people in the world, you got to be there, right? But when my daughter was 7 or 8 years old, I opened up our Mile High Profit Summit in 2021 with this story. I was at home, my phone rang, I didn't recognize the number, and I hung up. And then it rang a couple seconds later, I hung up. I thought it was a spam call. This is a long time ago. And then a voicemail popped through. It was my 7 or 8 year, I think she was 7-year-old daughter crying, going, "Daddy, I'm lost."
Wow.
Okay, "Daddy, I'm lost." So now I pretty much answer my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a whole story that goes behind it, but don't miss the call, you guys. And whether it's standing in the kitchen, being all in, the customer can wait. And so for
Right.
so many years, Joe, I put everyone and everything before what was under my roof. All in
Yeah.
the name of providing for those under my roof.
Exactly. Right.
Okay,
Right.
so I get it. Our intentions are great. If somebody's listening to this right now, you're a man or woman of total integrity and passion, and you love your family, you're showing up for your clients. I get it. All right, but everything we don't do and everything we do sends a message or tells a story. So just be intentional about the message you want to send. Like one of my sons comes over. He works in HVAC. He came over. His name's Tiga. I have 3 adopted kids, and she's got her 2 daughters. Tiga's from Haiti, and he's sitting there and he's having a beer, and I'm like DMing this customer, and Tiga's talking to me and this and that, and the queen will walk by and she'll nudge me, or she'll catch my eye from the other side of the room, and she'll be like, "Hey, tune in. Your kid's talking to you." And I'm like, "Shit,
Yeah.
that's right. Put my phone down." Right? They can wait. I got this moment with my kid right now.
Totally.
And so, yeah, man, it's and I get it. There's a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of pressures that you have running a business. But don't go build your empire and then have a shitty marriage, or
Yeah.
not be there for your kids. Like that's defeats the purpose of doing this whole thing.
I agree 100%. Yeah. We were on vacation last week for 8 days, and I just did a podcast episode on it yesterday, how I was able to go on family vacation and work for about a half an hour a day in the morning and then be fully present. Like, and I've been in business 10 years. So that's, again, I'm grateful for being in that position. Not everyone can be, but same thing. My kids are 10 and 8, and we're out there on vacation in Arizona, bouncing around, seeing some amazing sights. And I'm like, they're only going to be wanting to go on vacation with us for another, 8 or 10 years. So I'm going to be, I'm doing my morning routine for about an hour every morning before everyone gets up. And then, I'm all in for the day. And I think I did pretty good at it. And I'm happy about that.
That's awesome.
And grateful for that.
Good for you,
so, man. And hey, I could have worked on vacation. Could we have made more sales last week? Could we have grown our business more last week? Yeah, for sure. But it's about that clarity. What do you want? So important. I want to wrap this up, Tom. I know you got a call coming up in a few minutes here. Let's talk about what's exciting for what are you excited about? I know you got a couple of events coming up this year. You're doing a lot of speaking. I know, I don't think it takes much to really light your fire, but like, what's got you really pumped this year?
Every week, I'm just blown away by our fight team. They just keep raising the bar. They keep learning new lessons, getting better. We've got some AI for contracting training coming up soon. We've got some, our Mile High Profit Summit is in Denver in September, which is about 500 contractors from all over the place. We've already, I think we have any tickets. Our early bird, we pre-sold tickets at last year's event and sold like 90% of the VIP tickets already. Like just last year. It's a pretty powerful event. Excited about, some of the lineup that we have coming in there. I'm most excited to just keep seeing people win, man. That's what gets me out of bed every day. I don't have some crazy morning routine like I used to. My morning routine now is I wake up and I work. I wake up and I work. Like I hit the ground running and I work, and then mid-morning, that's when I go move my body and I work out. I've shifted it just to kind of be more in line with how I want to roll. And so I'll hit a couple workouts throughout the day, do my reading and stuff. So I do these sprints, and then I work on me and this and that. But, we've got challenges like anybody else does in a company, but I'm just, about almost a year ago, I stepped aside to the founder role, and my right-hand guy became our CEO. And so that's been a big adjustment for me to just kind of, I'm excited to really let go of things, which I've been doing. And every time I let go, I'm just blown away where our fight team takes us and how they continue to help people get better, man. Like it's humbling because it's, there's seasons of business, right? We're in a new season, and it's allowed me to speak more, to write more, to, do, I get a lot of mental bandwidth time to work on vision. I'm blessed, man. It's good.
That's cool. I love that. I'll have to talk to you about that at a later date. I want to eventually hire a CEO and all that for our company. That's cool. So you've got a ton of content out there, Tom, ton of really good content. What's the best place for people to find you, to find that content? Where do you recommend they go?
Anywhere the Contractor Fight online. If you want help knowing how to price your jobs at a 50% or better, go to thecontractorfight.com/50. We got a cool worksheet there for you. And, I'm pretty active on Instagram and stuff at Real Tom Reber. So you just type it into Google and we'll show up, man.
Google me, baby. Love it.
That's right.
All right, Tom, I appreciate your time. I know you got a lot going on. It's been awesome to catch up. Thanks for pouring into our audience here. Thanks for the energy and the fire. Great to talk with you, and appreciate you, man.
Joe, I appreciate you having me, man.
All right, take care. All right, guys, there you have it. Hope that you got some nuggets out of this conversation with Tom. If you are not already following him, make sure that you go on to his YouTube channel at The Contractor Fight. Subscribe to that. Check out his podcast, Contractor Fight. Go to thecontractorfight.com to make sure that you are staying up to date on the latest and greatest. He's got a daily email. He's got some free trainings on there. A lot of great resources. And as always, we would love your feedback on this episode. So feel free to leave a comment below, above, left, right, center, wherever it is that you're watching this or listening to this. And send me a message on Instagram. Let me know what your feedback is. At Hey Joseph Hughes on Instagram. I love to have conversations. I love to hear feedback. I love to hear what things you guys want to learn on this podcast, what guests you think I should have on, so that we can continue to bring you the most value. All right, that's all I got for today. We'll see you soon.